Let's give it up for John. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I'm going to talk to you about building blocks for an agentic future. So I work at Mysten Labs. I'm part of the hacker team. I also do a lot of security engineering work. And yeah, I love building tools for security and other things. I like running hackathons, and I love SWE. So super happy to be here and talk to you about it today. On the agenda, we have just the general intro, probably saturated already, but let's just talk a little bit about blockchain and AI. SWE, who's ever heard of SWE? Oh, we got over half. That's awesome. Let's go. Walrus, who's heard of Walrus? Wow. Okay, you guys partied. Anyone get a snowboard from the Walrus event on Wednesday? Bummer. Either did I. Seal. You guys have never heard of Seal. Not my kind of seal. Yeah. If Atoma Network, Agents in the Wild, next million agents. All right, let's get this show going. So, kind of core strategy, like primitives here. We want AI to help builders in crypto and users in crypto. Just kind of strategic. We also believe crypto can help AI services and builders. And we're going to start exploring that in these slides. How can AI help crypto builders? Has anyone here used ChatGPT or Cursor? Yeah, like a lot of people have. I think everyone here understands how AI can help you. It can be really personalized to what you need to know when you need to know it. You have dev tools like Copilot, Cursor. You have ChatGPT, copy pasting code from that interface and whatnot. People are starting to build tools to help audit their code with AI. That's one of the projects I was working on last year. And there's just a lot of value in learning and education. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of knowledge distributed out in the cyberspace. LLMs are really good at summarizing that knowledge and redistributing it back to you. So that's one of the primary use cases I use it for, and I think it's been very valuable in that area. Now, how does crypto help AI? I don't think it's meme coins. I'm a Web3 person. I really like Web3 stuff. And the Web3 motto I have is trust but verify. Actually, you just verify. You don't trust, right? Everything on-chain gets verified. And your AI should be too. If you ask the magic genie in the lamp, hey, magic genie, please grant me this wish, you hope you're talking to the magic genie you think you're talking to, but in today's world, you don't actually know. If OpenAI decides to water down their model because it's actually too expensive to run GPT 4.5 or 7.2 or whatever, you don't know if you're getting 3.5 or 4.2 or whatever number. You just trust that they're giving you the right model that you're actually paying your tokens for. So that's a problem I think crypto is definitely helping solve, is just providing verification of these attestations and verifying the receipts, proving that you're executing whatever in the runtime you expect to be executing it in. As far as compute and storage, SWE is a great global coordinator and orchestrator for whatever you're orchestrating and coordinating. A lot of blockchains kind of help you do that, right? SWE is just the fastest and the cheapest. Storage, not every blockchain has a place to store things. Gen AI is generative, right? It makes things. And typically when you want to make things, you don't want it to, have short-term ephemerality. You might want it to stay around for a while, like your awesome NFTs and whatnot. You need that to be stored somewhere that is safe and it's going to be there tomorrow and however long you want that to be there. So, having storage is important, and a lot of these AI services that create things need to store things. Having decentralized, distributed, trustless systems to do that in is very valuable. SWE. Anyone know how, everything in Linux is a file? Everything in SWE is an object. For me, that's all I need to know. There's a lot more to dive into, but at the end of the day, just hold on to that and then go into the weeds later. But yeah, there's this intuitiveness about everything as an object, and it's much more intuitive than JavaScript, where I guess everything is also an object over there. fast and horizontal and elastic scaling. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when CryptoKitties were a thing, but like you couldn't get your Ethereum transactions through because gas fees were too high and the network was congested. People spent a lot of time researching how to solve that problem in distributed systems, and some of those best minds work at Mysten Labs and developed solutions that are implemented in Sui. Your gas price is not going to go up if you make the next, million user app on Sui. It's not going to congest the network. You're not going to get longer latency or more lag in your systems. Sui helps manage that problem very elegantly. And then as a user, getting bootstrapped and set up in the crypto space, like nobody has time to memorize 24-word mnemonic seed phrases. No one has time to figure out how to put gas money in their wallet to click buttons on some DeFi app or mint an NFT. Sponsored transactions and being able to have a Sui account with a Google identity or a Twitch or Twitter identity are really valuable. ZK Login itself is just a glorious project that has enabled hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users on Sui to participate in the blockchain. Most of them don't even really know that they're using the blockchain, which is cool. There's a bunch of other stuff here. Take a picture if you want. These are all great projects. Walrus and Seal will dive into Deepbook, randomness, ZK login, timestamps on chain, obfuscated NFTs. These are things that you can just kind of search and look in the Sui blog posts about, but just cool to know and be aware they exist. Walrus. So you have to store things, and we need to store things on Sui. We use Sui as a coordination layer for our storage protocol called Walrus. Great white paper, great project. More information here. It's resilient, decentralized distributed peer-to-peer systems. So you have your resiliency. You can add more nodes to the network, grow it out, it scales. Programmability. It uses Sui to coordinate everything. So if you want to have deep programmability with your Move smart contracts, Move is the programming language on Sui, you can do that. You also don't. It's agnostic to chains. You can use Walrus and build out integrations in Solana or Base or whatever your chain of choice is. It's just something anyone can build, and you have that cross-chain support in. So it's great. If you haven't used it, check it out. Pretty easy to get bootstrapped. And if you have struggles, the Discord is there. Everyone is super friendly in the community, and we all like to store things and get stuff done. And I always get asked questions about how does it compare to Filecoin and Arweave? Well, someone in the community wrote a really great comparative analysis. So you can scan that Twitter link. Should take you to Twitter, hopefully. Just this OXM_TT character did it for Arweave, Storage, Sia, Filecoin, comparing Walrus to those different protocols from cost, performance, scalability. So worth looking up. But again, use whatever storage you need. Agents need to store things. Agents need to store things, and sometimes they need to store things secretly. Privacy matters in this world. If I want to have a conversation with someone, I don't necessarily want to hold the microphone and let the whole world hear it. And if I'm talking to my AIs or my AIs are talking to me and my agents are out there putting in work, I want to know about it. I don't necessarily want the whole world to know about it. So, a little alpha leak in Sui Summit. I don't know if you guys know about Sui Summit. That's being hosted next week. Community hosted event. It's all week. So if you guys are staying, don't hit the powder or the snow in the mountains. Come to Sui Summit and chill with us. We're a bunch of people in the community, and the engineering base is going to be there. So very heavy engineering focus. But if you're product or business dev, you'll like to learn about Seal and everything else that's cooking in the Sui community. But yeah, basically decentralized secret management as a service. I don't know any other chains that provide that kind of solution, so it's kind of cool to have and talk about. But yeah, imagine you have your personal storage, cool, your Google Drive, whatever. That's all distributed on chain. Only you can reconstitute the shards to decrypt your material. You can start setting up Dropbox-like services. You can have more sophisticated content distribution networks. And so just the future is broad in this world, and privacy makes it a little bit nicer in that regard. Not everyone knows what you're up to on chain with the good secret management and control. One of the building blocks in Sui right now, probably the strongest like distributed compute service, is Atoma Network. And they provide decentralized compute primarily focused for LLM inference and AI-related tasks. So, there's a whole marketplace of where you can get AI services rendered for you. There's OpenAI, there's Google, there's Anthropic, but there's also this expanding Web3 base of there's people with computers, there's people with GPUs. They want to like rent their time, their game studios by day. At night, they can leave their little desktop computers on and start like getting some credits on Atoma and renting out some of their GPUs while their workers are sleeping. Who's heard about trusted execution environments? TEAS. There's some great research going on. So I have a security background, do a lot of custody and like crypto infrastructure stuff. And for a long time, only like weird security people were interested in trusted execution environments until this AI bubble started popping up. And now everyone wants to set their pet rock free. I don't know if you know that news research paper or a blog post, but it's like a great write-up on why TEAs are needed. If you're going to throw money into an agent, you want to verify that the agent's code is not going to rug pull you. The logic might be buggy, but you know that it's running the code you expect it to be running, and it's hitting the inference engine you expect it to be hitting. And so that system is clean, and you can put your money into it knowing that like you can check and validate, show me the receipts and verify the attestations of that runtime environment. This is not just for AI, it's for any type of tool, action or whatnot. And Atoma is really leading the way in the Sui network. There's other folks doing this too. So it's not just Atoma, but it's just great to see the community wrapping their heads around that. And you should be investing your time in understanding how to incorporate whatever your workflow is into trusted execution environments. That's just me speaking from the security. Dynamic marketplace, just like Uber, things change based on time of day and utilization rate. So it's good to have a dynamic market. OpenAI and all these bigwig people, they just charge you a flat rate. But there might be times where they're losing money. There might be times where they're making a lot of money from that. And having these Web3 systems just kind of help automate like that flow and kind of let the market determine the price is nice to have. Oh yeah, and it's OpenAI compatible, so pretty easy to plug and play, get tokens with USDC and go from there. A little graphic, just like oracles plus Sui cryptography is success. You get verifiability there, and there's a lot of native functions in Sui, so verifying your cryptographic attestations is a lot cheaper with native functions. I don't know who's doing TPM 2.0 or Nitro Enclave attestation verifications in smart contracts outside of Sui. I'd love to know how much it costs in gas money for them. Okay, agents in the wild. So in December, I was like, I spent a year building stuff inside of Mysten. I now want to reach out to the community and see what they can build. And so I started organizing a hackathon. And you'll see some of these projects, these started without even the hackathon going on. Dexter AI, you have a DeFi project. Pretty cool. I love the animations. I love the design. This is kind of like one of those things where I don't know how many of you have used DeFi stuff in the past, but it can be awkward UX at best and terrible UX at worst. People can like do things without realizing what they're doing. And so having like a nice little companion to help walk you through that and provide certain guardrails in that agent and the agency of that agent is nice to have, So having these kinds of things is great. Dexter is an awesome service, a great system. We have a lot of games on Sui. The water chain is a game chain. We like to set objects free in all types of universes. This game was a turn-based card game, and it was just cool to see like you don't deal with dumb NPCs anymore. Like being an NPC doesn't mean you're dumb anymore, unless like the game devs didn't have OpenAI credits or like Atoma credits or whatever. So like I really like playing a game where it's non-deterministic and you don't know what's actually going to happen. Like, yeah, the plot, the story will stay the same, but like each and every interaction is unique to that game instance. You can never step in the same game twice with AI. Robobo, I just like saying that word. Robots fighting, also fun. Save the planet, save the whales, use electrons, don't like hurt the silicon. So yeah, just another game, super fun to play. I'll post a slide with like links to some of the demos. Suimate, built by a friend of mine. Unfortunately, didn't make it to the finals of the hackathon. There was like 120, there were 80 projects that were in like the top 40 list of all the judges out of 170 projects. So unfortunately, this one didn't make it there, but it was one of the projects that focused on education and gamifying education. So if you know something, you can win the reward, Jeopardy style or whatever, answer the question on Twitter. You can ask questions. You can have like contribute to the knowledge base for, training the agents to be smarter next time. And it's just cool to see like an end-to-end system that kind of helps people learn, helps people engage and distribute knowledge in the space, because knowledge being compartmentalized does not help the community. So I really like to see these types of initiatives, and cool to see all the building blocks that went in place to make this. Rin AI, this is a really cool demo. This is like some AI agent, anime person, and person presenting. And this is just like a desktop agent that lives on your computer, and you just talk to it, talks back to you. It's just a cool kind of companion app. I really like that. I think having a personality, having a person to like walk through your code with or walk through your content creation with, like, it's just nice. In the remote world, you kind of live alone a lot. Like you're just in your office working and just like bouncing off ideas. I don't know, rubber duck programming, like where you talk to your rubber duck to help debug. Well, now you actually have like something a little bit more engaging than that. And the code to do this was really impressive. It was pretty straightforward and simple. So anyone can make their own agent with their own design and go off to the races. Memento OS. This is another cool one. It's like a companion app. So the person who created this had a loss in their life, and they just wanted to have a conversation with the person that no longer is here. And they made this project, and it uses like everything that Sui can give you. So it was just beautifully done, very artistic, like just the whole UX, the whole UI, the whole flow, the whole story was great. And the code was also very clean and worth sharing with the world. So definitely cool to see more companion style apps where like you keep people in your life even if they left life. And I just think that's really interesting area to explore. There's a lot of societal implications to AI. Stats. I think this link will work. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. So these are results from the hackathon. 120 that were like fully qualified out of the 170. 30% were DeFi. Obviously, like people want their AI agents to help make more money. A lot, like the last talk was talking about, like people just like building infrastructure in the crypto space. It's like, why not? And so, yeah, over half the projects were DeFi or infra related, like agent toolkits, a lot of projects to help you bootstrap your own project, that kind of stuff. And then the last is gaming, security, education, social, and just cool NFT, dynamic NFT stuff. So really cool to see security and education there. I hope that pie grows stronger. And yeah, awesome just to see all these people in less than 3 weeks crank out some really top-notch projects. Okay, so I don't think there's going to be a billion agents by 2025. So I almost edited my slides, but like, no, I think in the next year, we're going to see over 1 million agents for sure. Some of them are going to be really useful. Some of them are just going to be like comedic value or whatever. But like, how do we get there? What do we do, I see AI agents everywhere. So obviously we build robust developer tools. Like people need tools. Everyone needs a pickaxe to go mine some gold. They need shovels. They need drills. They need all that scaffolding. They need secure infrastructure. SWI, Walrus. These are like strong base components that other people build other services on top of, and at the end of the day, they get wrapped into these nice little verification of attestations that things are happening the right way. And if there is a compromise, it would be shown in that attestation. User-friendly interfaces. I think that's been like the life struggle of crypto since the dawn of crypto. And community support. Like one of the projects I didn't talk about a lot here, but was really inspirational for me and partnered with in the hackathon I ran was the ELIZA framework. Who's heard of ELIZA? Yeah, a lot of people here. I hope so. The code is okay. The project is really cool though, and it's because of the people who are building it and the people who are surrounding that effort and paying attention. So having strong community really pushes your project further than having no community. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? Like, you really need that strong community support. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about SWI, Walrus, Seal, like, come build with us, come learn with us. We're really friendly. We welcome everyone. And thanks a lot for your time. And another opportunity, there's this whole like road to overflow. There's another hackathon that ends in May. So if you want to get started on that, you totally can. If your project started after February 5th, it qualifies. And there's a lot of in-person events over the next couple weeks and months to help people facilitate their journey in the SWI ecosystem. So look forward to seeing you there. In 2 weeks, I'll be in San Francisco helping people build stuff. And if you want to use Walrus for your Solana project, I won't look down on you too hard. You can totally do that. If you want to use Walrus for base, if you want to start exploring, like please do. These technologies are meant for everyone here, everyone who wants to build a better future with in the Web3 ethos. So thanks for the time.
John, thank you. That was great. Sort of the fun side of AI agents too. I mean, with the games and everything. That was very nice.
Yep. Any questions?
Yeah, if you're up for it. I think we have time for a couple questions. Yeah. Let me get you the mic.
Yeah, as you are in security, like, so what do you think where like guardrail needs by AI agent, which is the most important part for to secure with AI agents?
So are you asking like security risk of AI agents? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think AI agents introduce a lot of new risk into the scene. It's not like it's a new weapon was made. It just helps scale the existing weapons that exist to trick users with scam, to spam people, deep fakes. Like the trickery is next level with AI. But as far as like core technological concerns, if you're doing like the trusted execution environment situation where your runtime is locked down and you have these cryptographic attestations, you're not going to get watered down agents that are going to tell your car to go left when it should have gone right. So I think there's not a lot of new risk. I think it's just the current existing risk is amplified and magnified by the easy accessibility to like have an agent, do bad things, right? But the tools were, the risk was already there. It just makes it a little bit more easier and accessible to people who might not have technical knowledge to execute on whatever bad actions they're trying to be bad actors on.
What do you think about jailbreaking and prompt injection type of mechanism?
Jailbreaking and prompt injection, I think those are interesting, just like it's interesting for iOS and Android. And it's always going to be cat and mouse, right? So.
Maybe one more question? Yeah.
I want to reference the tail end of your presentation. You were talking about how ELIZA has a lot of things that need to be improved on. The team that I work with, we're trying to use ELIZA agents to interact with SUI, but there weren't a lot of hooks to do that, as much as there are for Solana. My question is, what can developers building agents on Sui use instead? Or are you building on Eliza OS?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what you're trying to do. I made the Sui plugin for Eliza and just had, added like the simple Sui wallet there. And then part of the hackathon was having people build other tooling and other systems and projects on top of Eliza. And so you have like deeper integration with the DeFi protocols. A lot of people just did added DeFi components and capabilities to Eliza for Sui. But a lot of feedback I got from people was like, hey, it seems cool, but there's a lot going on. And for my task and my purpose, I just needed a simpler thing. There was a lot of projects in the hackathon that, were infrastructure tooling related. And so they were just like, well, I built my AI project not using Eliza. And they kind of kick out their framework as like here's like a simpler line, less lines of code to review, less hands touching it, less supply chain risk. And so I think it really is tailored to like what you're up to. Eliza is a great gateway drug into AI like developing. And so you can just plug and play and throw your API keys in your seed phrase or whatever your secret, crypto key is and hit the road, running. But it really is context dependent there.
Great question. Thank you. One more round of applause for John. Thank you, John.
Thank you.